Commanding General YAHANNA here, I.S.U.P.K, the original I.S.U.P.K, 1969, Body of Christ. Here's what I want to tell you, man. Now, I want you to think about something for a minute. You've been studying the scriptures. You've been watching us on tape. You've been watching all kinds of camps on tape. And as you've been watching and studying, you realize that it's coming to the point where you got to put this into action, that you need to step out there on the street and handle that work. Now, here's what happens to a ton of brothers. A ton of brothers go out there without coming through the school and learning what they need to learn. And what happens is they run out there and then they run into problems that they don't know about. And they try to get them problems answered online and calling brothers and all that. And it creates a bunch of confusion. And in many cases, it eventually chokes the truth. It look like it ain't gonna choke it now because you feeling strong, your energy's up. Listen to me, man. Listen to me. You understand? I've been doing this 40 plus years. Okay? Ask anybody my name. It's going to all be bad, which it's supposed to be. All right? Christ said when they speak in all manner of evil against you, that's when you know you're doing this work. Do yourself a favor. Come to the I.S.U.P.K first. Learn from the original school first. Even if you think it's too militant or too this, too that, don't let anything block you from getting the pure knowledge first, straight from I.S.U.P.K. I'm saying this out of love because I'm seeing too many brothers fall. They're getting up on the cats. They're getting what they click. Bring your click here and let your click handle I.S.U.P.K. Because here's the deal. If your click ain't strong enough to handle I.S.U.P.K, why would you go out on the street and get swallowed up out there? And if you feel like I.S.U.P.K ain't got it all down, then you should be man enough, you and your crew, to come to us and lay down and break bread and talk about these scriptures. Ain't no harm gonna come to you. Ain't no harm come to a man that disagree with the truth. You ain't trying to harm us, we damn sure ain't trying to harm our own. So come to the I.S.U.P.K, sit down in our classes, learn from us, and then you can make your serious decision on what it is that you're supposed to be. And I guarantee you, you're going to realize that it was much more than what you saw on that video, man. Much love to all you warriors learning, growing, and getting ready to bust out into this work. I see you soon. Shalom, family.
Hear the hunger in my voice. They used to tell me to speak up. The problem was of what I was saying, they couldn't keep up. Instead of moving around with some patience, they tried to speed up. It got colder than a bitter bitch, found me a way to heat up. What's a favor for a favor if we all didn't make it? Kept it 100 with everybody, but they just won't change. I ain't get caught up in the hype, cause I ain't feel like I made it. Couldn't picture me here now, but here's your moment to frame. And I ain't never understand that self-entitlement spirit. I felt the vibe, I don't wanna get near it. Before I made the appearance, I took a second, took a look in the mirror. This God, Lord, the only thing that I fear. Y'all got me fucked up. It's all passion. It's tradition. It ain't fashion. It's no action. They make threats and it's still passive. I think massive. No response. That's still tact. Y'all should quit rapping. Cheap shots. I'm cinematic. I ain't average. I'm an overdose fanatic. I go, you lose and win like asthmatics. I got first. That's automatic. I'm the best in my division. In the ghetto like the pigeons. In the hood like the engine. You a bird for that chicken. I don't fake split decisions cause my mind made up, nigga. We in the end of time, but my time ain't up. Now when I was young and running wild and wide-eyed like a cabbage patch, I had to get it as vivid, adapted to my habitat. It's certain shit I won't do, certain shit you can't prove. My shit sound like a payday, yours like more when the rent. If I had $1 for every dime you counted, I would be broke. Watch it be close, got a better chance, boxing the goal. And they know I'm raw, and they know the squad, and I'm feeling lost, still in charge. I don't make them follow, I follow the law. Standing tall like they on Mars. I just got a call from my bro, he behind the wall, he told me let it all. Niggas lying for some cat, I got a different line in me. Everybody intimidated, I got that guy in me. You can focus on the dimes, I'd rather keep my nine with me. Help me get this off the ground, just know you won't fly with me now. I try to make the news, I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna be the living. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home trophy, I ain't never had to choose. I'm trying to get beamed up, man, y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. home of the truth. Y'all ain't never had to choose, trying to get things up. When y'all trying to make the news, y'all ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth. Y'all ain't never had to choose, trying to get things up.
I don't give a lovely fuck about what them bitches got to say. I'm a West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't give a lovely fuck about what them niggas got to say. I'm a West nigga till they put me in the grave. I don't care about what they say. About what they say. Hey. Fuck with my Akim, fuck with my sisters, then I got a problem. I'm never gonna miss you. I got $100 hanging out the AR. I got a 50 hanging out the pistol. He say it's corner, I'm just being realistic. I be on them corner posted with the realest. If it's the Sabbath, then we going fishing. I'm really no man, that's a God-given mission. I'm really on 10, but I'm stamped in the pistol. I get the order, be glad at this mission. Hebrew Academy graduate, nigga. Training, go through the baddest conditions. I'm fuck with none but the baddest of bitches. She righteous, submissive, she glad to be with me. Had that thing Putin like Batman, niggas. She know I'm a prophet, she glad to be listening. Disrespect, I ain't having that shit till I go make some business from scratch. She bitchin' a different breed of black man. We don't do the back thing. I remember back when I was really trapping, trying to get the racks in, selling dope to black men. But now I'm trying to make it straight. Like, get up out my face. We sticking them straight, can't fold us. Too heavy, the world won't hold us. Don't use some rank, I told you. Line up in these ranks, we sold you. You can take that to the bank, we focus on. How many times must we remind you? One body, one way, some break off, but never take up as a place. When the law with your ain't no up next, it's just us, nigga, that's that on that. All that weak shit, that ain't no threat. Say you won't beat, bitch, with that ain't no sweat. We with all that. The Lord called a nigga out the world. I responded and called back. Oh Lord. And everything that they stole from us, fuck that shit. We want all that. Them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come under command and general, YAHANNA, we unaffiliated with them. They tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine, that's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. That's why we unaffiliated with them. I cannot fuck around with fake niggas. We taking ground when we in your city. You better hide the women, hide the liquor. Keep that bitch on me, please don't but the safety. Don't be a fool and be another victim. Say you a goon, you just another Christian. How you my brother, you ain't in here with me. In the gutter, deep down in the trenches. We with them niggas locked up in the prison. Fucking this Spanish, Native American, Indian, we ain't just talking shit, but we living in it. We be everywhere. You can't miss it. And we be precious hell, take a picture. And we special now with the scriptures. Play, we gon' script from, yeah, we some killers. See the nigga drippin', they mind blown. Swear business, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't get it pause when niggas say that they be looking for niggas to slide on. The slide that I know about is when I send with the gun with the slide on. Real, I get the order, you know that it's slaughter. See me and my niggas gon' die. Kill. The bigger the better for kingdom of heaven. You niggas get wet up by niggas, I'm fed up by I.S.U.P.K. My niggas won't let up, got choppers, got nines, AKs, Berettas. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like bitch or whatever. You say you don't like me, you say you won't fight with me and my nigga like them niggas snitching and they act like bitches. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They killing women and they fuck with sisters. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Come under command and general, YAHANNA, we unaffiliated with them. Like they tongue and they say they keep that shit 100, we unaffiliated with them. They telling lies, switching up the doctrine. That's why we unaffiliated with them. They ain't gon' ride until they die, so that's why we unaffiliated with them. Yeah. See, they always ask us like, why y'all don't fuck with such and such? Why y'all won't come together with such and such? I be like, we unaffiliated with them. Understand me? Like, niggas be out here on some weirdo shit. And to be honest, that's why we unaffiliated with them. Hey. That's why we unaffiliated with them, yeah. Oh!
Clap it up, 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 man. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And since 1969, we have been teaching the truth according to the Bible. If y'all can hear me in the chat, give me a 1, Baba Kusab, you can hear me in the chat. Give me a 1 if you can hear me in the chat, man. Y'all give me a 1 if you can hear me in the chat. Yeah, we here teaching the truth according to the Bible, man. You know what I mean? That blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the 12 tribes of Israel, man. You know what I mean? Say shalom. Yahweh by Yahweh Shabbarakatah to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Elatah by Yahweh Shai. To all the sisters, man. Hey, big the water to Nico, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate that, man. The water for checking in and the water for letting me know you can hear me, man. You know what I mean? We in here today, man. You know what I'm saying? Been a month. It's been a couple weeks, I think. I think it's been a month almost since I've been in here, you know what I mean, rocking our class with y'all, man. Had Officer Tazar Moff and Officer Kunata Tadai holding it down in my absence, man. So, you know what I mean, they held it down strong, man. You know what I mean? So, the water to y'all, man. The water to those brothers holding down the class. And then the water y'all checking in. What up, Mirage? Shalom, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabbarakatah. Good to see Officer Mirage here, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Hey, so you saw everybody in the world yesterday celebrated Memorial Day. Everybody in the world celebrated Memorial Day, man. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to celebrate Memorial Day, but do you really know what Memorial Day is about, man? You know what I'm saying? Do you really know? Do people in the world really know, man? You know what I mean? And if you're in the world right now, tell me, what is Memorial Day, right? If you are not a trooper or an officer in the school right now, you watching this class, tell me what is the definition of Memorial Day. You know what I mean? Or what does Memorial Day mean to you? You ain't got to be long-winded. It's just real brief. What is Memorial Day to you, and why do you celebrate Memorial Day? You know what I mean? I think let's start there, right? Let's talk about Memorial Day, man. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to celebrate Memorial Day. They was grilling yesterday. They had hot dogs, hamburgers, ribs. You know what I mean? All kind of baked beans and collard greens and whatever else you might have had, potato salad, potato chips if you're young and don't know how to make it. What does Memorial Day mean to you? You know what I'm saying? What does Memorial Day mean to you? If you in the chat and you ain't in the school, what does Memorial Day mean to you? Nico said, not everybody. Damn right, brother. Damn right. Damn right. What does Memorial Day mean? You know what I'm saying? The world said, I'm gonna give it a minute, bro. I want to see what Memorial Day means, man. You know what I'm saying, to y'all, and what are y'all celebrating for and why you celebrate. You know what I mean? We're gonna get to it real quick. You know what I mean? I got a couple of stories I want to bring out. Now, then we're gonna get into it. You know what I mean? Nico said, he says, when our brothers stood together and lost their lives, that's commendable, brother. You know what I'm saying? What he said right there, listen, man, that right there is heavy. And we're going to get to that right there. What that brother just put in the comment section, we're going to get into that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to talk about that. You feel me? I want to talk about that. So we're going to get into that here in a minute, man. But, you know what I mean? I'm going to give it to y'all for the time's sake, right? Because everybody, it seems like we ain't got nobody in the world that want to speak up and get into the comment section. So I'm going to give you the answer real quick, man. Hey, so this is what Memorial Day is for everybody. Memorial Day is a day that the world celebrates those fallen soldiers, right? Memorial Day is a day that you say, all right, well, these are the soldiers that fought for America. And we celebrate these soldiers and we bring them, we give them light, we revive their memory, and we hold them dear because of what they've done and what they've sacrificed. That's the whole point of Memorial Day. You know what I mean? The majority of us out in the world, and when I say us, I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and natives, the majority of us don't even know why we celebrate Memorial Day. Or if we celebrate Memorial Day, we celebrate it because it's just a day that the oppressor gave us off. You know what I'm saying? It's a day that the other nations that are over us gave us the day off, so we go and gather together and cook and celebrate. But we don't gather together and celebrate on these other days, but we celebrate on these American holidays. You understand? That's the pushback I always give them, because it's like you could have grilled and cooked on Sunday. You was off Sunday. You could have grilled and cooked on Saturday if you was off on Saturday. If you wasn't off on Saturday, you could have grilled and cooked on Tuesday, but you didn't. But you decided on Monday to gather together and grill and cook. You know what I'm saying? That right there tell you that it's a whole nother spirit behind this day, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother spirit behind this day. Hey, Shalom sis. Good to see you in here. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Lathar Bashim Yahweh Shah. The water sis. The water for checking in, man. So Nico said, man, I'm here to learn, bro. Heard they had their own graveyard because the whites just buried them on top of each other. Hey, man, that's the story we're going to get into. You know what I mean? And for you, it won't be what you heard anymore. I'm going to give you the link. I'm going to give it to you so you can see it and you can have this record for your notes. You know what I'm saying? And you can have this when you need to show somebody the truth. I ain't going to say cheats because, of course, you know, if you need to show somebody, you'll be able to show them facts and records and data that shows that this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. Hey, listen, if anybody has questions while we're having the class, the water Baba Kushah, go on and type them in the chat and we will answer your questions tonight. You understand? If anybody has a question, put it in the chat. I'll answer your question tonight. No sweat. You understand? So it'll be all good. So that's what they say, right? That's what they say, right? That's what they say, that it's all about that. That it's all about just coming together and celebrating and having fun with your family. Again, but it's the spirit behind it. We got to measure the spirit and judge the spirit and try the spirit by the spirit, right? That's what the scriptures say. That we got to judge the fruit. You understand? We got to judge that. But before we go into the fruit, let's go back a little bit and let's go into the history of Memorial Day and why Memorial Day is what it is and where it all started from. All right? Let's go there. This is from Time Magazine right here. So, like, I'm going to share the screen so y'all can see this. I'm going to put this in the comment section right now so y'all can see it. That's where we're going. I'm going to share my screen. Bubbly. Yep, that's it. Boom. This is from Time Magazine, you understand? There we go. Oh, my bad. So I forgot. I got to roll a different way. All right, no sweat. So this was written, I apologize. This was written on May 22nd of 2020 by Olivia B. Waxman, who was a staff writer at Time Magazine. She wrote this article. And this article is titled The Overlooked Black History of Memorial Day. And I enjoy bringing the history out because it's so important to tell this story because a lot of our people don't realize this history. And a lot of our people don't understand the significance of this history. So I like to bring this out every once in a while and just tell you and show you this is what your people have done, our people have done in the back, you know what I mean, in the history, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. This is what it say. Now I'm off of the page. If y'all got any comments or questions, I'll come back around and I'll jump on them, but yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure I get these stories out so y'all can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit. View. Okay, there we go. All right, no sweat. I can do that. Boom, boom. There we go. Yeah, so you see the graves here, right? You see it starts off with pictures of graves. You know what I mean? And what the brother was saying was important, it was heavy, and it was true. You know what I'm saying? That these graves, on April 1865, a photo of the graves of Union soldiers buried at Racecourse turned Confederate prison, where historians believe the earliest Memorial Day ceremony took place. Civil War photographs from 1861, this is where the book it came out of, 1861 to 1865, out of the Library of Congress. So this is a very wide-known thing about Memorial Day, and it's accessible to every single American, so-called American, here in the States. You understand? So let's get to the article. Nowadays, Memorial Day honors veterans, right? Veterans of all wars. Veterans are obviously those that have served. But its roots are in America's deadliest conflict, which was the Civil War, where approximately 620,000 soldiers died, about 2/3 from disease. Now, if you don't know, the Civil War, I'm not sure if they still teach us in the history books. I'm sure. I hope they do. But if you didn't know about the Civil War is when the North and the South fought over slavery, right? The South, of course, wanted to hold slavery. The North wanted to fight against it and wanted to not have slavery. You understand? Not because they were righteous people, you know what I'm saying? Not because this was a war, a spiritual, a spiritual battle over morale, right? Not a moral battle. The Civil War was not a moral fight. The Civil War was a financial, economic war and a war of power. You understand? It wasn't to make sure you got free, black man. The unions didn't give a damn about you, black man. They only cared about their pockets and their power and the power that they were losing to the South because they had so many blacks enslaved, blacks, Hispanics, and natives enslaved in the Confederate South. You understand? That's what that was all about. And again, and I say it again, if you have any questions while I'm going through this, Baba Kushal, type it in the chat. We'll get to it. No sweat. All right? So, as we keep reading on the article, the work of honoring the dead began right away all over the country, right after the Civil War. And several American towns claim to be the birthplace of Memorial Day. Researchers have traced the earliest annual commemoration to women who laid flowers on soldiers' graves in the Civil War hospital town of Columbus, Mississippi in April 1866. You know what I'm saying? We need to holler at Zabak, Officer of 1,000 Zabak out of Mississippi. I think this might be close to his town. You know what I'm saying? But as we continue to read, historians like the Pulitzer Prize winner David Blight have tried to raise awareness of freed slaves who decorated soldiers' graves a year earlier to make sure their story gets told too. Now, what is the significance of that? Why is it so significant to bring out the fact that not only were these white women that laid flowers on graves in Columbus, Mississippi, which is about an hour or two outside of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the significance to show that these freed slaves decorated soldiers' graves is to kind of show that that black people in America also have a connection to America's story. You understand? And David Blight is trying to bring out the fact that that black people have a place in American history. So often black people get wiped out in the story of America, but we have to fight to keep these things out in front and let people know that, hey, actually, black people did have a significant role played here in America's history. You understand? And that's what David Blight is doing. I think it's important to show that black people are actually not just dumb, ignorant people, dumb, ignorant bumpkins, you understand, that don't do nothing and bring no value. You understand? I think it's so important that we bring that because the oppressors in America don't believe you have any value. And they try to devalue and try to shut you down and shut you out whenever possible. So when you bring out stories like this, it proves that black people actually had a role in America, that black people actually brought value to America, even though you don't even have to do that because you see slavery is the reason why America is powerful today. Not just in the transatlantic slave trade, but the slavery that goes on in these prisons today. You understand? Legally and lawfully is this slavery that goes on today. It's another reason why America is great today. You understand? Another reason why America is a superpower is just because of the hoods and the ghettos and the reservations that exist around here that America has gotten rich and fat off of for and giving nothing back. You understand? Those are the reasons why America is rich today, but they don't want to bring that truth out. They want to just keep you as a lazy, ignorant bum that adds nothing to society, when yet and still the society of America is on the backs of black, Hispanic, and Native men and women all over. You understand? It's important we bring this out so we can speak truth to the lie. You understand? That we can tell this truth that we are not that people that you think we are. You understand? And it's also important that black people realize that we don't give a damn about America and that we have our own power and that we don't need America to be powerful. We have our own power here in our society, in our nation. You understand? And that's our Christ, that's our King, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, and the Most High God who has allowed, Christ to have that power. You understand what I'm saying? But this is what it's all about, that we bring this truth out. It's so important that we do that because it doesn't happen enough. You understand? So like, let me make sure I ain't missing no questions. Damn right. Damn right, bro. Damn right. Damn right. All right. So yeah. So let's keep going. According to Blight's 2001 book, Race and Reunion, The Civil War in American Memory, a commemoration organized by freed slaves and some white missionaries, took place on May 1, 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina, at a former planters' racetrack where Confederates held captured Union soldiers during the last year of the war. So there was this racetrack that they converted into a prison in the Confederate South. And at this prison, they held all kind of slaves and all kind of soldiers, right? Union soldiers at this racetrack. You understand? At least 257 prisoners died, many of disease, but also because they were executed by the Confederate South and unalived by the Confederate South, either through direct unaliving or through like torture and what's the other word I'm looking for? Like hard labor. You understand what I'm saying? Those were the ways that these people were unalived, you understand? And were buried in unmarked graves, right? They were, like the brother said it earlier. He said that they was, let me see what the brother said. Get back to the brother comment. What he said was correct. That there was a mass grave, you understand? What he said? He said they had their own graveyard because the whites just buried them on top of each other, 100%. That's exactly how this people did that, right? Those oppressors that ran this prison, that ran this racetrack, converted into a prison, just threw bodies in the open grave and had no care for it. You know what I mean? Man, side note, let me just give you a sidebar here, right? I was watching Marshalls and I was watching Yellowstone with my mama the other day, and she was, you know what I mean? There was a scene on there where they was at the train station. If you've seen Yellowstone, hey man, listen. I watch all kind of TV, man, but Yellowstone is a pretty interesting show. But they was showing like how they was unaliving people, so like how they was unaliving people and throwing people at the train station down the hill and just throwing bodies over there. And all throughout the show of Yellowstone, they did this, right? And on Marshalls yesterday, when I watched this episode, that's what they were doing, right? They went back to the train station, quote unquote, the train station, but they were just throwing bodies over the hill, and it was a mass graveyard. This is something that they show in art, but it's also something that happened in real life. And it happens often in real life where these oppressors don't give a damn about your dead body. You understand? Don't give a damn about life in general. You understand? It's not in our culture to unalive and, you understand? It's not in our culture to unalive and disrespect the dead. You understand? We don't do that. We have a little bit more concern for life and a little bit more concern for our brothers and our sisters. You understand? The oppressor don't give a damn. He gonna just throw you in a pole, throw you in an unmarked grave, and don't worry about you until later on. You understand? These brothers and these sisters in Charleston, South Carolina, I think it was Charleston, South Carolina, they actually went and dug up these bodies and gave them proper burials, right? And then you're gonna see this, right? And gave them a proper burial. Boom. Let's keep going. This is an image of the racetrack, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. The clubhouse at the race course where Union soldiers were held prisoner. Yeah, that's what this is. This is a clubhouse at that racetrack where they were held prisoner. I zoom out a little bit so y'all can see that. If you want to, y'all can definitely go look at this picture on your own time. I put the link in the chat. You can go look at that if you want to. These are actual real pictures. This is real history. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going. Wow. Why do that? All right. Come on. In approximately 10 days, right, leading up to the event, roughly 24 African-American Charlestonians reorganized the graves into rows and built a 10-foot wall, it's like a 10-foot tall white fence around them. So they did this in 10 days. They took these people out of these mass graves and put them in proper burial locations and proper burial sites and gave them headstones, right? That's what you saw up here at the top in this image right here. You saw that they were actually in real gravestone site, in real locations where you would see a proper burial. You understand? It's so heavy that black people did this, and they did it in 10 days. You know what I'm saying? They did it in 10 days. It didn't take them too long to do that. It said, and it took 24 African-American Charlestonians reorganized the graves in the rows and built a nice fence around them. An archway overhead is spelled out martyrs of the grace course in black letters. This is a real deal, man. This is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And when they did the parade, they said about 10,000 people, mostly black residents, participated in the May 1st tribute, according to the coverage back then in the Charleston Daily Courier and the New York Tribune. You understand? It goes on to talk about the parade, how they had black school children walking around the race course singing songs, John Brown's Body. I still haven't looked at the lyrics of John Brown's Body, but they had adults, free black men and black women at this parade. Black pastors delivered sermons, led attendance and prayers, and the singing of spirituals, and there were picnics. You understand? Of course, they had oppressors in there. They had white people in there as well, doing different things. But that's just telling you that they did these things, right? They had 30 speeches by union officers, missionaries, and black ministers. Participants sang patriotic songs like America and We'll Rally Around the Flag and the Star-Spangled Banner. In the afternoon, 3 white and black union regiments marched around the graves and staged the drill. This was a whole thing, bro. It's a whole thing that, like, these freed black slaves and black folks in Charleston, South Carolina put together. Listen, man, General Muhammad says this so often, and he says it so well, and it's so wise, that black people are the most patriotic people in America. Black people are the most patriotic people in America. There's nobody more patriotic than blacks, Hispanics, and natives here in America. Nobody else is more patriotic than us. Nobody else, man. These brothers and sisters were singing the Star-Spangled Banner. Have you ever looked at the lyrics of the Star-Spangled Banner? They were singing the whole song. Even though the Star-Spangled Banner talks about how it's going to hunt down the escaped slaves. Even though it talks about it's going to hunt down those that helps free the slaves. We still sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Even today, we still stand for the national anthem. We still say our Pledge of Allegiance. I don't, but we do as a people. We do that. We're the most patriotic people in America. There's nobody more patriotic than blacks and Hispanics, man. We celebrate Memorial Day when Memorial Day has never benefited us. They don't give a damn about us. When we came home for World War II, what did they give us? Nothing. When we came home for Vietnam War, what did they give us? Nothing. But more dope, more heroin. You understand? We came home for World War I, what did we get? Nothing. Couldn't even get the GI Bill. So you're talking about people that have never been respected or given anything in America, but we yet and still love America. We yet and still give our life to America. To see black people as police officers it's an astonishing sight. That tells you the brainwashing that we've suffered in America. To see police officers unaliving our brothers and our sisters unjustly so often on video, but you still sign up to go be a part of this police force? It's astonishing to see this, man. I'm baffled to see black men being dressed up in these police officer uniforms, and then seeing brothers going to serve in the war, serve in the army, man. You know what I mean? If you don't have the truth, I understand. It makes sense to go and get a check from the government. It makes sense. But once you have this truth and you realize, damn, I'm better off not even getting that check. All money ain't good money. Maybe I shouldn't go get that check. Maybe I should, you know what I mean, just go work at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's better if I go just be a security guard somewhere with the brother, you know what I'm saying, with the brothers, man. And I ain't saying something wrong with, of course, I'm not saying anything wrong with working at McDonald's or being a security guard, but I'm just saying, you ain't got to go get that check. You can do other things to get a check. You understand what I'm saying? But instead, our people, we sacrifice ourselves in these wars. We sacrifice ourselves in these governments. We sacrifice ourselves and give ourselves to this country and get nothing in return. At least white people get the GI Bill. At least white people got housing. At least these oppressors got, you know what I'm saying, voting rights. Now they taking away your voting rights in America. You want to be you fighting for that? That's what you fighting for? You over in Iran right now fighting for that? Maybe it's time we reassess who we give our spirits to and who we give our love to and who we give our all to, man. It's time we start looking at maybe this country doesn't deserve my spirit. Maybe I shouldn't do nothing on Memorial Day and I should just stand down on celebrate Memorial Day and I'll get with my family another day. Maybe it's time I say, I'm tired of celebrating Christmas. I'm tired of celebrating the 4th of July. And instead, I celebrate the closing of the Feast of First Fruits, was coming up on Sunday, May 31st. You understand? I think it's Sunday, May 31st. You understand? Maybe it's time we do that. We start getting back to our culture because our culture has given us power. Joining these organizations in the world has given us nothing. You got friends. You got somebody that want to be your friend for a little bit, but nothing else. What else have you gotten from joining these organizations in the world? What you got from joining the game? What did you get from that you can prosper with? You understand? What did you get that can make your life better? Nothing. It gives you nothing, man. Joining the army gave you nothing. You got a check for a little bit. All right, go sit down, man. We're done with you. Thank you, nigga. Appreciate it. It's nothing, man. So let's get into some scriptures real quick, and we're gonna get into this. Damn right. Who that said that? I think that's young man Larry said all money ain't good money. Damn right. Damn right, bro. Yeah, Nico said I don't stand either. Damn right. I ain't standing, bro. I don't stand for it, man. I ain't stood for the national anthem since I came into the truth. And when I go to my children's games and children's events, when I go to a baseball game or something, and they doing the national anthem, listen, man, I don't stand up, and these oppressors, these other nations look at me like I'm going crazy, bro. They look at me like I done lost my everlasting mind. You know what I do? Nothing. I ain't standing up. I ain't standing up for this nonsense, man. I stay seated. I ain't getting up, bro. I'm staying seated, bro. I ain't getting up, man. I ain't getting up for the national anthem. I'm not standing for that, man. That's not for my people, bro. I don't stand for the Star Spangled Banner. Again, like I said, have you read the words? It's not for me, man. That's for you. Enjoy yourself. I'm not going to tell you to sit down. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to tell these oppressors not to stand for the Star Spangled Banner for the national anthem. If you want to stand, stand. Enjoy yourself. This is your country. This is your world. This is for you. What Bane say on Batman? This is for you. This ain't for me. Enjoy yourself, man. I'm not finna stop you. Enjoy. This is your world. Damn right, believe when it come to my time, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna stand tall when it come to my time. When it come to my people's time, everybody standing up. Everybody standing up. Let you be sitting down when whatever happened and the Lord allow us to be in power, and whatever it is that you got to stand up, let the general come in. Your ass don't stand up when the general come in and we in power. Hey, listen. Bring him hither and slay him. That's what the Bible said. Hey, listen, man. But now why I said, this is your word. Enjoy yourself, man. You know what I mean? I don't do that, bro. You know what I mean? Let me see what else it says. Like I missed a lot of comments, man. Yeah, bro said he ain't getting nothing. Damn right, bro. Damn right. He ain't getting nothing out of the military. Damn right. Damn right, bro. Said losing my brothers to the streets, but God got me home. Damn right. Damn right, bro. And you know, through the I.S.U.P.K, you have a new home as well. You know what I'm saying? Through the I.S.U.P.K, when you join this school, you learn have brothers that you can depend on. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro, I was in an organization in the world that is nationwide as well. But I know even here in Huntsville, you had different cliques and different connections. And it's like, even in these different cliques, it wasn't no brotherhood. You know what I mean? I know brothers come 4 hours to Birmingham, drive 4-5 hours to Birmingham and hold camp with us. What kind of brotherhood is that? That's real brotherhood, man. A brother will sacrifice himself sacrifice time with his family, sacrifice time with his kids when he can be out here doing whatever, having a barbecue at the crib. But he comes and holds camp with us in Birmingham. You know what I'm saying? Comes up in the Huntsville and help us host a food and clothing drive. You feel me? Like, that's real brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Brothers can travel from Canada to Tennessee and Nashville and Huntsville and know that they got brothers they can depend on if they need something. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, I flew to New York. I ain't had nowhere to stay. I always tell the story because this is real for me. Like, I ain't had nowhere to stay when I went to New York. I just went up there for that mission that we had to go for. Brothers put me up. Brothers took care of me, got me off the plane, took me to the school, took me and fed me, made sure I was good. I ain't know nobody. I ain't know nobody. I was nobody. I wasn't no 500. I don't think I was I might have been a 50. I might have been a 50. You know what I'm saying? I think I might have been a trooper at the time, but nonetheless, brothers still looked out for me just because it's brotherhood in the I.S.U.P.K. This is real family right here. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Let me see what else I missed over here. Yeah, I'm right. But said he did it at his little niece's graduation. And his own siblings was looking at this out. That's how I do. Because we so brainwashed right here, man. We so brainwashed in America, man. We so brainwashed that we think that's the right thing to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I'm right, bro. Let's see what else we got checking in. Hey, Shalom, how about you? How's the shop? Thigh, Troop? Good to see you, Trooper. Like, I'm gonna try to get your comment back up if I could. Everybody, the water, Trooper, Don, for checking in, man. Appreciate you, bro. The water. So that's what it's all about, man. Let's get a couple of scriptures up real quick, man. We're gonna keep it moving. Let's go to let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19. I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to go to the other one. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and 19. Let me get my Bible up, and I'm going to share my tab so y'all can read along with me on the screen. Let's say 1 Corinthians chapter 3, start at verse 18. We start at verse 18. Again, if y'all got any questions, we're going to throw them in the chat. Again, we will address your questions tonight. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them tonight. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 18 says this: let no man deceive himself. Don't deceive yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You understand? If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, right? Let him become a fool that he may be wise. And that's heavy, right? If you think you smart in America, you think you got it all together, right? I was just watching an interview with Kevin Hart, and you know, Kevin Hart did that roast, and everybody's upset because some of the people that was on Kevin Hart's roast were had disgusting jokes. You know what I'm saying? They were disgusting jokes. They were talking about his deceased mother and father, Kevin Hart's deceased mother and father. They were talking about George Floyd. They were talking all kind of madness about Cheryl Underwood's husband, who unalived himself. You understand? They were talking. It was just disgusting. It was tasteless. It wasn't good quality jokes. They weren't even funny. You understand? But in this roast, all these things happened, right? But on the interview that I was watching, he was purporting himself to be intelligent. Like he knew what he was talking about, and he was in the right in his stance that he didn't say anything when these jokes happened. And his wisdom is that I didn't say it. That was his wisdom. And he was so high and mighty on his stance of like, I'm in the right because I didn't say the jokes. Well, and the fact of the matter is that it was his production. And he said it himself. It was his show. It was his production. He was the one that put it on. And he compared this to saying like, all right, people are upset because they said the jokes, but I didn't say it. He compared it to being in a club and somebody you know, I guess I'll say pew pew just for the sake of we on social media, right? Just somebody coming to the club that in a party that Kevin Hart is hosting, right? In this theoretical party that he's hosting, and they pew pew somebody, right? Not saying that they unalive him, but they pew pew somebody. And he was saying, Kevin Hart was saying that, what are they gonna say? That he was the reason that it happened. Again, all of this is the wisdom of the world. He didn't say it, so he shouldn't be held accountable. He wasn't the one that did it. It was his show. He had to do a production. He had to run the show. He had to do this. This is his wisdom. Well, what the scriptures say right here, it says this: let no man deceive himself. Kevin Hart has deceived himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in the world, let him become a fool. Let him become a fool that he may be wise. He has deceived himself, and he thinks that he's intelligent in what has happened with this roast. And he's now thinking that he's the smartest person in the room. But he didn't deceive himself. And he doesn't realize that he was in the wrong righteously when it comes to brotherhood, when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to the truth of the Bible. He was in the wrong. You understand? Verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. You understand? The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Listen, man, Kevin Hart was in charge. You understand? He was in charge. And according to the Most High, that brother should have done something about the situation. You should have been a brother. You know what I mean? He should have been a brother, which means that you shut down their jokes when they talk about your brother, our brother, George Floyd. You shut down the jokes when they talk about Cheryl Underwood. You understand? You shut down you don't even have these people on the show because we don't align ourselves with these people. You understand what I'm saying? You got to realize that there's a way that we move, a way that we do things. We have a Holy Spirit that's on us. That means that's a separate spirit that's on us, that we move differently than the world moves. You understand? We don't move like everybody else moves. We move differently. So we can't act like everybody else. But unfortunately, Kevin Hart didn't do that. He thought that he was right by allowing these oppressors to make these jokes, allowing these oppressors to make these comments on Cheryl Underwood and himself and George Floyd and the family of George Floyd, man. You know what I'm saying? It says this, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, man. You know what I mean? I know we're talking about Kevin Hart, but also this applies to Memorial Day. Because in the wisdom of this world, celebrating Memorial Day is just another day. It's like celebrating Memorial Day is a day that we set aside to celebrate these veterans of America, these veterans of Iran war, the veterans of the, what's the last war before that? Afghan war, the veterans of Vietnam, World War II, World War I, all these civil wars, all these different wars, we set aside this day. And this is just the day that we celebrate our veterans. And we have speeches and marches and parades and all these different things. And we cook food and celebrate with our family and remember those that serve. That's what the world says, that it's okay that you do that. Well, in actuality, the truth is that that's not a day that we're supposed to give ourselves to. Because these people are not who we should be celebrating. These people are people that, you know what I'm saying? He gave yourself to America for what? Let these oppressors celebrate that. That's not for us. We don't give ourselves to that, because when we do, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Now you've given your spirit to America, and you're not worried about your brother. And when somebody say something negative about your brother, your sister, I didn't say it. I didn't do it. That was them that said that. This is my production. I'm just doing a show. He said that. You've been taking it on your own craftiness, man. You think you smart because you did that. You're not smart, bro. You would have been smart if you had said something or did something, you know what I'm saying, to stand up for your sister. But at the end of the day, who give a damn? Kevin Hart ain't feeding us. He's not taking care of the poor in Alabama that I know of. Prove me wrong. Show me what Kevin Hart is helping the poor in Alabama. And then I will show him to the 501c3 we have in the I.S.U.P.K. and tell him, come contribute your funds here. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying, bro. Kevin Hart ain't feeding us. He's not keeping our brothers off of drugs. He's not keeping our sisters out of whorehouses. He's not keeping our off of stripper poles. He's not keeping our people in a righteous way. So who give a damn? It's important that we give our spirit to our people. You understand? And realize that we have wisdom with our own. You understand? All right. Y'all got any questions? I was like, y'all got any questions? Go and throw them in the chat, man. We're going to get to it. All right. Keep it moving. All right, let's drop that. Let's go to, what's the next scripture I want to go to? Let's go to the next scripture, Acts chapter 15. Acts chapter 15. We're going to Acts chapter 15. I think we're going to start at verse 25. Verse 24 look good to me. Acts chapter 15 verse 25. This is who we should be celebrating. These are the people we should be memorializing. You understand? These are the people that we should be lifting up and saying, thank you for your service. You understand? Acts chapter 15 verse 25 said this: it seemed good unto us, being assembled with one accord, to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul. It's like, man, if y'all can hear me well in the chat, give me a 1. Actually, give me a if you can hear me well in the chat, give me a 2. If you can hear me well in the chat, give me a 2, Baba Kushai. If you can hear me in the chat, give me a 2. If y'all can hear me. If you can hear me in the chat, the water, young man, Larry, I appreciate it. Damn right. All right, yeah. Like I was saying, so like Acts chapter 15, verse 25. It seemed good unto us, being assembled with one accord, to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul. Verse 26. Men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord YAHANNA, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You understand? These are the people that we should memorialize. Those men that have hazarded their lives. You know what I'm saying? These men that go to camp. These men that go out here and fish and go into the hoods and the barrios to tell our people who we are according to the Bible. The brothers that feed the homeless and feed the drug addicts and those that need here in America. Those are in all over the world, Salaki. Those men should be memorialized. Those are the people that we should raise up. Those are the people that should be given a memorial. You understand? Because these are the ones that get arrested by the police because you're trying to tell the world that Jesus Christ is black. You understand? These are the brothers that get fired from jobs because they're trying to tell the world that the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. These are the people that suffer here just because of their spiritual beliefs. Just because they have the belief that I'm supposed to love my brothers and sisters, and I'm supposed to take care of my brothers and sisters. But we hazard our lives because of this truth. Because we get on this camera and teach that blacks, Hispanics, and natives should come together before the decree of the Lord come forth. You understand? That blacks, Hispanics, and others should come together. It's like blacks, Hispanics, and natives should come together and love one another and be together and help each other. But because of this, we hazarded our lives, you understand, on these corners. We hazard our lives in these slaveries. We hazard our lives with our families. You understand? Like the brother was just saying, the fact that he doesn't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance or for the national anthem, his family looking at him crazy. These brothers go out on these corners and teach that we're supposed to love one another and be above all nations and get our feet, our boots kissed. And they look at us like we crazy. They look at us like we don't know what we doing. I have you know right now that the brothers in the I.S.U.P.K ain't delusional. The brothers in the I.S.U.P.K are focused, laser focused. One West hard rock brothers here 10 toes down for this truth. If you think you got it in you to do it, don't come short. Don't come half-stepping. The Bible says if any man come to serve the Lord, tell him to set his heart aright. You got to prepare yourself for tribulation. Because tribulation is coming when you come to this path. When you come stand in this truth, tribulation is coming. You got to be ready for it. He said you got to suffer it alone, but you got to be willing to fight that battle. You understand? You got to be willing to fight that. You got to be willing to put the Lord first. You really going to have to put the Lord first above that family of yours, above your children, above your mother, above your father, above your husband, above your wife. You got to know that you're going to have to do that when you come to this truth. You ain't doing it for me. That's the thing about it. You ain't doing it for me. That's the crazy part, bro. Listen, man. You ain't going to do it for you. You ain't doing it for me. You ain't doing it for Officer Lagon, who's our camp leader. You ain't doing it for him. You're doing it for you. And the Lord is going to try you and see if you're going to do that. So like, the Satan is going to try you to see if you're worthy of it. You got to make that decision if you are or you are not. You know what I mean? And then if you are worthy to be memorialized. You are worthy to be raised up in somebody that we applaud their sacrifice and thank you for what you have done. You are worthy of that. You are worthy of the oath that you have been called unto. You are worthy of that oil that has been put on your head. That's what we all trying to do. That's what we should all strive to be, myself included, to be worthy of this oath that I've taken, to be worthy of the oil that has been put on my head, to be worthy of the brothers that stand for me and tell me that I'm worthy. You understand? That's what it should be, bro. We all working for that, man. We're working for that. All right. Let me see my last scripture here. Last scripture here. Damn right. Damn right. Damn right, bro. Nico said he locked in. Damn right. He's sitting in class tomorrow in the flesh. Damn right. Damn right. All right, last scripture. We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4, and we're going to start at verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4, starting at verse 5. It says this, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Man, listen, these laws, statutes, and commandments are not grievous. These laws and statutes and commandments we have been given are not something that is, you understand, not something that is hurting us. Yet and still, these things are helping us to become better people. These laws, statutes, and commandments are teaching us how to be, you understand, how to be a leading people, how to be a nation of kings and priests. You understand? That's what these laws teach us. So now these laws teach us that when my brother is being attacked, that I stand with my brother. No greater love than this, than a man to lay down his life for a friend. These laws teach us that when a sister is in need, we feed that sister. We're supposed to take care of the widows. Honor thy father and thy mother. You understand? And that honor thy father and thy mother is not just you honoring them as a child, but honoring them as an adult and giving them honor and giving them the help that they need. Your mother and father, if they're sick and they need your help, you're supposed to be there to help them. That's a commandment that you honor your father and mother, man. It's a commandment that you be there for your mother. Be there for your father when he needs you. You understand? Listen, I know America has done a number on us and taught us that we should hate our fathers. The I.S.U.P.K is taught under Commander General YAHANNA and the I.S.U.P.K has taught us that we should love our fathers, that we should get right with our fathers, that we should honor our mother and our fathers. You understand? To come back together with them and teach and love them and be there for them when they need it, man. You understand? That's what it's all about, man. Being there for your brothers, being there for your sisters, and your mother and your father are your brother and your sister. You understand what I'm saying? He has taught us statutes and judgments, things that we need to live. That by following these rules, realizing that if I lay down with this woman, this is my rib. And if I lay with a woman, I got to stay with a woman. That I choose the type of woman that I want to lay down with, and I'm not just rushing just to run up in her. You understand? I'm taking my time to choose that, okay, this is a worthy choice. This is somebody that is worth my time, somebody that I would be willing to sacrifice for. You understand? Differently than you would, of course, another sister. These statutes and judgments give us wisdom and make us wise in the sight of the nations. Who else is telling you that you lay with a woman, you got to stay with a woman? Nobody's teaching you that. Christian church ain't teaching you that. The Christian church is telling you, if you're tired of that man, leave him and go get another man. You tired of that woman, leave her and go get another one. You ain't married. Y'all just dating. That's what the Christian church teaches you. It's time we get back to some realness, man. It's time we get back to the truth. Time we get back to how we supposed to love and treat one another, man. You know what I mean? That's all I got, man. I ain't got nothing else, man. Those are the scriptures I want to bring out. Talk about Memorial Day, right? Talk about that. Talk about how we're supposed to love one another, how we're supposed to treat one another. Who are the people that we should memorialize? Who are the people that we should care for? Who are the people that we should sacrifice for? Not for this country, but for our brothers and our sisters. You understand? Those are the people that we should sacrifice for. You know what I mean? Listen, if you were in class, the brother already said it. He said he's sitting in class tomorrow in the flesh. He already know. We got class tomorrow at 6:30. You understand? Same bat time, same bat channel. You understand? We got class tomorrow at 6:30. I.S.U.P.K Alabama. These same channels you watching on tomorrow at 6:30. Gonna be held down tomorrow. You understand? Make sure y'all pull up and pay attention in class. Bring your paper, your pencil, and a physical Bible, man. Bring a notebook and a pencil and a physical Bible to class. And take notes. You understand? If you go and take notes, do what you should do. This is what you should do. And I'll make it easy for you, right? When I first came into the school, I was writing my notes down in a notebook. If I bring my notebook to class, I do that. I would have a title at the top of that page to say, this is the title of the class. And every scripture that brother brought out in the class, I would write that scripture down. And I would record that scripture in my notebook. And I would say, these are the scriptures this brother called out today during this class. So today, for Memorial Day, you would have 3 scriptures. I cited a couple of more. Maybe you could write those down and go find those out, and you could include them in your notebook, right? In your physical notebook with your physical pencil in your physical Bible. You understand? Not just your cell phone, right? That's where we at. I done got into a bad habit of keeping all my stuff on my phone. The brothers that came before us had physical notebooks. And it means something. You know what I'm saying? It's still significant enough that we should do that today. So I think I'm going to get back to that, of writing my notes in my paper. You understand? But tomorrow, that's what you should do. Go get you a notebook, go get you a pencil, get you a physical Bible and an apocrypha, and you record your notes in that class. If you have questions, you ask those questions and write that down in your notebook. And over time, after class, each notebook, each paper, each class, each Sabbath service, each high holy day, each day you go to class and you watch a General Muhammad class. You got the title of the class, the date, and you got the scriptures that came with it. And over time, you have developed you a book of notes that you can go back and reference. And you might get to a point where you want to organize your scriptures and say, all of these scriptures apply to blacks, Hispanics, and natives, all the 12 tribes of Israel. These scriptures apply to the oppressor is the devil the Bible speak of. You know what I'm saying? You start organizing those notes like that, man. That's how you should do it, bro. If you're gonna come into the I.S.U.P.K, you're gonna be a student in the I.S.U.P.K. That's how you should do that. And of course, all of us are students in the I.S.U.P.K, even myself included. You understand? All of us are. And all of us go to class, read class, and study and learn from the brothers above us. You understand? That's what I recommend y'all go do that, man. Go do that, man. Go get you a physical notebook, a physical pencil or a pen, highlighters, a physical Bible and Apocrypha so you can turn them pages, learn how to turn them pages, know that Isaiah is here, Matthew is here. You ain't got to go to the note, to the index. You know what I'm saying? Every time you need to go to another Bible. You should know where these books are. You know what I'm saying? Get comfortable with that. Because you're going to need it when you go out in these streets. But other than that, I'm going to close this out, man. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Hey, Salaki. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out in 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. And we've been teaching the truth since 1969 that blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the 12 tribes of Israel. Listen, if you want to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. We got the closing of Feast of First Fruits coming up on Sunday. I believe it's May 31st. Make sure y'all get in with us. Follow us on I.S.U.P.K. I will be posting flyers about this real soon, so make sure you follow I.S.U.P.K. Alabama on our Facebook page, our IG page. We got pages everywhere. You follow all that stuff. I'm going to put all that content out there. Check out the website, ISUPK.com. You can pay your tithes over there. Pay your camp fees. Do what you're supposed to do, man. And with that, say shalom, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal, Lathah Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah to all the sisters.